Mike, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me now?
Having a hard time hearing your audio there, my friend. But to all of those that have joined with us today for Fuel for Success, we have a very exciting talk show for you today. We're going to be talking about business and entrepreneurship. I am very passionate about this subject. Mike, are you here with us today?
Yeah. Can everyone else hear me? Matt's.
I don't think we can hear your audio, my friend.
Can anybody else hear me? Can you just type?
So he'll work on that. We're going to get started. Don't forget, my friends, you're more than welcome throughout this Spreecast today, this show, to type in your questions because this is what it's all about. We want to engage with you. We want to do some Q&A. So as we talk about our subject today, entrepreneurship, we've already had people email in questions. And so we want to make sure that we get those for you as well. And there we go, Mike. I can hear you now. I think I must have accidentally had my my thing on mute.
Oh, awesome.
So how you doing today,
Hey,
buddy?
I'm great. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
I'm alive and well, my friend.
Awesome. Well, hey, I'm excited about today's show too. Uh, business development, entrepreneurship, all these sort of things. It's sort of our lifeblood. Some of the things that we do, in being involved in a lot of technology startups. It's sort of been my life for the last decade or so, and I'm really.
It's fun. People don't. If people would realize actually how fun starting your own business can be, yes, it's very stressful. There's a lot of work involved, but the climb. I always tell people sometimes the climb is actually more fun than the arrival. Like I'm having the time of my life right now, and I know you can say the same. But we're having a blast. I'm excited about this. I'm hoping we can inspire some people to go ahead and overcome their fears and start their own business if they are truly an entrepreneur. And we're going to talk about what makes somebody an entrepreneur. We're going to talk about all that today. But yeah, how long have you been doing it?
Well, really about 10, 11 years. I started a technology consulting company in 2002, which is right after the tech bubble burst. So the timing was awful, but we made it work for about 4.5 years. And that was sort of my introduction to entrepreneurialism and starting my own business, that sort of thing. And I learned a lot.
Were you nervous at first? Were you nervous at first when you first started?
Yeah, I think so. I remember more being excited than nervous. I looked at, I'd actually gotten laid off from a job that I had for a long time, with a great company, and I looked at it as an opportunity more than a curse. I said, well, here's an opportunity for me to do something different, and we took off with it, and it worked for a while.
Cool. All right, well, let's get rolling. I'm excited. We got I'm proud of us. We stuck within our 30 minutes yesterday, and I believe we're going to do this because don't forget, a week of sleeping on the floor if we don't keep our shows under 30 minutes.
That's right, because we've got some
That's going to be
some
fun.
awesome people here watching live, and we want to make sure that we respect their time. And I want to ask you a few questions too, if you don't mind, about
Okay,
entrepreneurialism
fire away, man.
and business development stuff, and we're gonna have a look at your camera and see what's up. I don't know if everybody else sees it, but you look like you're in a spaghetti western or something. You're a little bit squished, but it's thinning. It's nice. I should do that. Anyway.
Huh. I don't know what it is, my friend. You're the technology guru.
Well, it's okay for now. We'll just roll with it and we'll look at it later. And David Watson says we had over 935 views yesterday, so on our first episode. So that's awesome.
We
I'm
need
glad.
70 more we need 65 more to break 1,000. So put it on your pages, my friend.
Always push.
Put yesterday's show on your pages so we can break 1,000.
Right.
But that's exciting.
That's
I'm humbled that there's even 5 people watching. The fact that one person would take time out of their schedule to watch is extremely humbling for me.
That's right. It's true. I believe that. And in true entrepreneurial spirit, you're pushing for the 1,000 mark there. Hey, well, let me ask you this question. We've known each other for a while, but kind of going back, what made you decide or made you want to sort of become an entrepreneur?
Well, for me, a couple of things. One, I feel like it's something that's been, I don't want to say that you're born to be an entrepreneur because I believe that anybody in this country, especially, can be anything that they want. So to say that you're born with it is not fair. But I've had it in my blood since I was a kid. I've always been extremely passionate and creative and not afraid to try new things. And so I've kind of had that entrepreneurial spirit, even in ministry. A lot of the things that I have done in ministry since I was in Bible college have been extremely entrepreneurial. And then probably over the last 10 years, carried it over into business as well. But what made me want to do it is a couple of things. Number one, I truly believe that I one day sat down and really, truly realized my value. And a lot of people get nervous when you talk like this because it borderlines maybe arrogance. And I do believe there are people that should realize that they're not an entrepreneur, that it's okay that they work for somebody else, and that they should do the absolute best that they can. But I just didn't want to spend my one short life being at the mercy of somebody for 8 hours a day. And I truly wanted to kind of be my own boss. And that's one of the reasons. Another reason is I truly believe in following your passion. And my passion has taken me down the path of being involved in startup businesses and entrepreneurship. And so that's one of the reasons for me that made me want to do it. And then also realizing the value of my time. I literally know exactly how many days until I'm going to be 90. Like, I know exactly how many days. I check it all the time. Like, I know how many days till I'm going to be 50. And I know how many days until my son turns 18. So I'm very careful not to give away my time for something that I don't feel called or passionate about. And so all of those things have kind of propelled me into wanting to become an entrepreneur. I love it. You got to love it to do it. I love it. Like, I really truly believe that, they say the average millionaire has gone broke 3 times. Most of the reason because they have to learn lessons along the way, and it's just part of it. I've met so many extremely successful entrepreneurs, and the things that they went through while they were building their business, that they lived broke. Many of them slept on floors or worked out of garages. And, if you're willing to do these type of things, then you're definitely cut out for it. But these are some of the things that made me want to do it, just the thrill of it. I could not even fathom doing anything else. Like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. I hope that when I'm 90 to be starting something, because it's fun. It's our one life. We're made in the image of God, and God was a creator. Look at creation. And so I think that we're all born for greatness and to do great things, and we need to just kind of let ourselves go and do it. What about you? What made you want to do it?
Actually, as you were talking about all those things, I realized I kind of said my sort of first foray into being an entrepreneur was the technology startup, but that's not true at all. Actually, I think back even when I was a kid, I was all the time inventing things and trying to come up with ideas, and it always seemed like I thought of things like about 3 months too late. And some other people probably have that same experience. But even before that technology startup, there was I was building fishing lures and selling them and that sort of thing. So I'd kind of always been involved in that, and kind of the excitement of creating something and building something and doing something new has kind of always attracted me. The creative side of it, I think, is what I like most about it. Um, and if most millionaires have gone
Mike, let
broke
me just
3 times,
interject this real
yeah,
quick about you. You know, a lot of people don't really know who you are yet, but you're actually a genius. And once people discover your abilities, it blows my mind. Like, you're the best kept secret in all of the world. Like, literally, this guy could have built Facebook that I'm talking to right now. When he talks about technology, I'd put him in the top 10 in the world. He literally knows his stuff. And it's been fun, Mike. So that's cool. Really cool. I just want to throw this out there real quick because I just got a text from Carol that we have a yes on the diapers for Mission 25. We're going to be giving away an entire pallet of diapers to single moms that are struggling and in need. Let me tell you right now, there's nothing, you want to talk about entrepreneurship? You go and bless a single mom with diapers. Remember we were in New York and we randomly found mothers that were poor and brought them diapers? Remember the reaction?
Yeah.
I mean, the reaction on their face when they got diapers, man. That's a cool giveaway, really, when you think about it. It's probably one of our top giveaways as far as blessing single moms. So anyway, I just want to throw that in there. I just found that out. That's very exciting to me. Speaking of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, very cool. There's so much crossover between ministry and business entrepreneurship. I think we'll probably talk about that another time. Well, I can think of, all kinds of lessons that I've learned, but what do you think is the biggest lesson you've learned so far in building a business, being an entrepreneur?
Whew, probably the biggest lesson that I've learned is what I talked about yesterday. The biggest lesson that I've learned is the absolute importance of the compound effect. I didn't really know, I knew it, but I didn't really know it till I listened to Darren Hardy's audio book on the compound effect. It's another one that I'll listen to every year. It's a must read for anybody that wants to be in business, and understanding that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. That, you can't look at, the results for today. You're building for a year, 3, 5, 10 years from now. And one of the biggest lessons that I've learned is patience. Probably what hurt me in the beginning of my entrepreneurial ways was a lack of patience. And that's the number one lesson I've learned, is that if you're going to be successful, you have to be patient, because a lot of times cash is everything in a business, and you got to be careful. I see a lot of people when they start having success, they start buying the bigger offices, they start buying the nicer desk, they start living the high roll in life. They get the country club membership to the golf club, they buy a boat and all these things. I'm not about that. I'll be honest with you. I live very below my means because I've learned the hard way. I used to live the high life, my friend. That's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, is not to cash in too early, and just to keep your head down and realize, there's a lot of pride in that. A lot of people that are in business, they're not emotionally whole. So when they have success, they start flashing and trying to, project some type of image. I've buried that a long time ago. I learned the hard way to just stay humble and stay conservative and stay patient and not cash in. Just keep hustling. Number one mistake that I see people make is having success. Because when they have success, it destroys them, because they lose their hunger, they lose their drive, they lose their intensity, they lose their passion. And you got to be careful. You've got to know that you got to take a good look at success, celebrate it for about 45 seconds, and then get over it and get back to work. That's my opinion. And what about you? What would be your biggest lesson so far that you've learned, Mike? No audio, Mike. Can you hear me, guys?
How about now? Sorry.
Click yes if you can hear me.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go.
Um,
There's the biggest lesson in business. When you're on a live show, don't lose audio.
Hey, it's only our second episode, right? So we can, we're getting better. We're gonna be the best
Every day.
very soon. We
For example, can I say this? Can I just say this before you answer this? You know what most people, why they don't ever go into business? They wait for the perfect opportunity and the perfect time. I really honestly believe, I wanted to go on record, this show is going to be huge one day. But you know what, my friends? We had to start somewhere. And I think a lot of people, they want to get the loan before they start the business. If you need a loan to start a business, you're not ready. Till you're ready to sell your furniture and sleep on the floor and eat peanut butter and jelly every day, twice a day if you have to, until you're ready to go without buying clothes, till you're ready to sell your clothes, till you're ready to have your lights turned off if you have to, my friends,
Right.
and live without electricity. That's when I know you're ready to truly build a business.
So, two things there. One is you mentioned earlier that most millionaires have gone broke 3 times. I think I'm pretty close to due then. And the other thing is,
Yeah, I'm ready.
God
My
has
third time's already happened, so I'm learning. I'm ready.
God has a great way of humbling people, because you just got done saying how smart I was with technology, and here I forgot to unmute my microphone when I started talking. So, brilliant.
That's what I love it. I love it, man.
But you know what? People are afraid to jump in and make mistakes. It's like, you know what? We're all just people. It's okay. Make mistakes. It's going to happen. Don't be afraid of it. Uh, but really, the number one thing that I learned through doing technology startups was really not to try to grow too soon, and to try to you don't necessarily have to be the big S corporation right out of the gate. Prove your concept. There's a technique in software development called agile development, where you come to market with the minimum viable product, and then you iterate quickly and build from there. And I think that can be applied to business as well. You don't have to have everything ready. Get what you absolutely the bare minimum, go to market with that, and then build and iterate and respond quickly. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned.
That's good.
I was also
That's actually really good. While you were saying that, our friend Steve Justice threw the link to the compound effect. I like Steve Justice, man. He's a keeper. Steve, thanks for doing that. Do buy that book, The Compound Effect, and read it, because that'll totally help you in business and entrepreneurship if you'll follow the principles. One of my favorite books.
Hey, I also was going to say that, and some folks that are watching maybe new to this platform, you can actually type in questions over in the chat box. You can also, there's a button down below. You can put a question there that'll drop into a queue. We can bring some folks on screen. The other thing is, you could actually tweet us as well, and we'll put our Twitter handles up there. You can tweet me on Twitter if you're having trouble. Some folks are on their phone, and it's a little harder to put a question in. So I think we're going to open the channel for Twitter as well. And
Cool.
and
I'm all about it.
hey,
My
let's
friend.
let's jump on David's question here real quick, because I think it's a great question about focus. He says, "How do you weed out all the noise of the other things you could also do in a business venture?"
Oh man, let me tell you, David, that's a good question. That is something I personally have to discipline myself, because I'm fighting so hard right now. You can't even imagine how hard I'm fighting not to open a juice bar in the Tampa Bay area and a tea house, because I am bleeding with passion for juice and tea. I mean, literally, I could work from 5 a.m. till midnight and not even blink an eye, helping people get with juicing and drinking the right teas, because I believe in tea. Tea is so powerful and is so good for us. And Mike and I literally have $10 million ideas right now. I'm not kidding. I'm talking like 10 ideas on the shelf, literally, that with the perfect amount of execution and focus would literally generate over $1 million easily. But the thing that you have to do is you have to prioritize, and you have to decide what is going to be your number one focus. And then from there, you literally, canceling the noise of other things is a discipline. It is something that you literally have to just discipline yourself to say, you know what, there's always, it's the curse of good. You gotta be against good. You gotta hate good. You don't want anything to do with good. You only want to put your time, money, and energy into excellent, into what's best. And so for me, to answer that question, how you weed out the noise of other things, is you literally just realize the power of priority and understanding the price of distraction and the consequences of allowing yourself to get off the path. You've got to just drive down the lane, my friends, and keep that laser focus. I hope that answers your question. I don't know if you're talking about the noise of other ideas or the noise of like I've got people in my circle, in my life, that are unproductive people. I can't hang out with them. It's not that I'm better than them. They're just unproductive, and you become what you hang out with. So if that's the noise you're talking about, okay, good, David, the noise of ideas. Hopefully I answered that. So we're down to like 10 minutes, Mike. Anybody else that has questions, I want you to feel free to write them in there. Your questions take priority live. Then we'll get to the ones that have been emailed and text and that we also think that would be beneficial.
Right, that's good. And I like to say that it seems like $1 million ideas are a dime a dozen, and the real power is in execution. That's the hard part. Let me ask another question, Matt. What is your opinion? Statistics show that about somewhere around 90% of startups fail within the first 3 years. What do you think causes that?
I know what causes it. I know why most businesses fail. The number one reason. In fact, I read it in a book. I read a book called Why. Speaking of books, Mike, I'm frustrated right now because I love books, but I also have books on my iPad. Do you know that I had 5 of these bookshelves filled with good? I don't buy bad books. Hear me? Even if people give me a book, if it looks bad, I don't want it. I don't just collect books. So all of these books are like unbelievable books, right? So I literally one day said, I'm only going to live till I'm like 90 something. Even at the path of reading 1 book a week, which I do, I'll never read all these books, and it frustrates me because I want to. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, what I did is I said, okay, am I going to read this book? And if not, I literally got rid of 3 bookshelves. They're sitting in my garage. I'm either going to give them away or sell them or do something. What should I do with them? That's number one. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But I read a book called Why CEOs Fail. A lot of good reasons. But the number one reason that CEOs fail is a lack of execution. Like I said in my previous answer to the question, I believe one of the reasons why businesses fail is because they cash in too early. They don't realize that literally you have to be willing to pay whatever price. There is no limit. You got to have a warrior mentality that says, I don't care what I have to do. I'm literally at the place where I would sleep in my truck if I have to. I'm not kidding. I would do whatever I had to do to succeed with my passion in my ministry. And as a dad, it's like these dads that live away from their kids. I can't fathom that. I ask them, how can you mentally live in another state? And they're like, well, I can't afford. No, there's no I can't afford. There's not in this country. There's too many immigrants that got here and didn't speak English and didn't know a soul, and now they're multimillionaires. I don't like excuses. I think one of the reasons a lot of businesses fail is because they're not cut out for it. They're not cut out for the grind. They think that they're going to get business cards, put up a sign, put out 1,000 flyers, and have success. No. You got to have a grind mentality. You got to have an insane, sickening, ridiculous, freak mode work ethic. If you're not out of bed by 5 a.m., if you're failing and you're not out of bed by 5 a.m., please do not come crying to me. If you're not hustling and sweating and executing, then I'm sorry. But one of the reasons people fail is because they don't sacrifice. You can't work 8 hours and be successful. You just can't. You've got to be willing to put in the long hours, sweat it out, be patient, and like I said, cash is king. Got to be willing to live without cash. Don't be cashing in on that cash, my friends. Got to be willing to go without a paycheck for 6 months. I'm just throwing out we're talking about businesses that fail, Mike, over 90%. There is a reason for it. And I think a lot of that comes to that,
It's good. Got a bunch of questions rolling in.
A lot of it is just that they had a bad idea, wrong place, wrong time, wrong people. A lot of it is just literally location too. Location is very powerful and true. You can have the best product in the world, but if you don't know how to market it, if you don't have good customer service, if you You know, like I said, if you don't know how to manage money, then a lot of these things factor into it, in my opinion. So that's probably a whole show just on that one question. We'll probably get back into that next Thursday, Mike.
Yeah, there's probably a whole show on a lot of this stuff. And we've got a bunch of questions rolling in. I like Steve Justice, his comment there. You're Rudy now. We might start the chant, Rudy, Rudy. Okay.
Rudy. Oh, I love Rudy.
You know, we're going to have to do like a whole show. Matt Finn is asking about top books for business startup. We're going to have to do a whole show just on books because we could probably talk about books.
In fact, you know what, Mike? We'll start out next week. I'll have a stack of books next Thursday.
Do that next Thursday.
And you bring a stack.
All right.
I'll have a stack of books. Like all these whole 2 shelves are nothing but business books. I've read them all. And most books I read at least 10 times. At least. Especially if it's a good book. I will digest the living daylights out of that thing until I can't breathe it. It'll be tattooed in my brain. Like if you open up my brain, you'll see tattoos of books and you know, I watch like every episode of Shark Tank, literally, you know. My son's watched every episode of Shark Tank. That kid's always giving me business ideas. He's a true entrepreneur. Literally gives me all kinds of crazy good business ideas. He'll walk into a business and say, Dad, I can tell this place isn't good. You know, this is good. Anyways, go ahead. You got a question?
I got tons of questions. Let's I'm going to start here at the bottom. What is your view on pyramid schemes or multi-level marketing? Quick question from Steve.
I believe in them. I believe in the principles of them. Pyramid scheme is a bad word because I believe anything that's a scheme should be shut down immediately. So I know what you mean by that, but I would say that it's genius to me. Multi-level marketing works. Now, not everybody's cut out for it. You got to be willing to hear the word no probably 200 times a day. If you're willing to hear the word no 200 times a day, you're ready for multi-level marketing. I can make you a millionaire. I get hit up all the time. I personally don't do it. It's not my thing. I believe in the principles of it. I literally, every week in Facebook, someone will email me, oh, you got to try this juice or this pill or, my God, I can make you a millionaire. And I'm like, no, thank you. I didn't want to read any more of the email. I'm not into this, not me. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a good product out there and you want me to be a multi-level marketing for you, save your time, but make me tell you no at least 9 times. Then I'll know you're serious.
I would.
But these people that send me and say, hey, watch this video, and no. You got to be, never mind. I'll go into that next week.
Real quickly, I would add to that, if you're considering getting involved in multi-level marketing, make sure that it's something that you care about, you know?
Yes.
You know, you don't want to be spending all of your time and pouring energy into stuff that you don't care about. Make it something that's interesting.
Yes, you're right. I like that, Mike. You gotta bleed. If I don't believe it, if I don't believe 10 billion gazillion 100% in it, I'm done.
Yeah. If I shoot,
I can't sell anything I don't believe in.
Let me shoot straight with you. I tried multi-level marketing one time, and after about 2 months, I was so bored with soap. I'm like, I don't care about soap. What am I doing?
That's what I'm saying. You know, I mean, God love their soul. You know.
Hey.
And it's just not me right now.
It's good stuff. It didn't work for me, right? So, hey, Derek Weber asked, one thing a lot of people struggle with and fail is how to market yourself without coming across too abrasive. What are your thoughts on marketing yourself without being?
Extremely good question. I'm going to answer it because we only got 1 minute and 10 seconds left, but we're going to start next week's show on business. Every Thursday's business and entrepreneurship, every Thursday. But I will hit this question. Let me give you just a 30-second answer real quick. You know, the thing of it is you're going to be misunderstood. That's the first thing you have to accept, is you're going to be misunderstood. There's just no way to get everybody to like you no matter how you do it. There's an old saying that says, you know, your enemies will never believe what you say. Your friends, they don't need, you know, for example, when someone is criticizing you, you know, it's just too short a time, Derek. I feel you. I'm going to get to this next Thursday. It's one of the best questions. I really want to slow down and deal with this question because I've had to deal with this myself because I do market myself. I'm a brand, and there's times that people have misunderstood me and not really gotten why I'm doing what I'm doing. So, Derek, I'm going to dive into this next Thursday and really go deep with it. Man, today was awesome. We love you guys. That's right, Derek. Thank you. I love you. I'll see you all next week, my friends.